Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Louis-Alexandre Migoche. I'm the Product Marketing Manager for Genetec Clearance. And today we're going to take a look at how you can improve public safety with the help of your community, and specifically how the camera registry module in Clearance can help you achieve that. So let's start by going over the agenda for this session. We're going to be taking a look at Clearance and Genetec, a bit of the background on the product, as well as some of the challenges that we've seen in the industry that led to the latest update. Then we're going to jump into a demo to look at these new functionalities. And afterwards, we will look at how we can actually set up one of these participant programs. And we will end the session with a Q&A, so please enter your questions at any point during the presentation into the sidebar of the GoToWebinar app, and we'll try to answer them at the end. So for those of you who are not familiar with Genetec or Clearance, I want to provide you some background information on the organization and the product. So we've been in business for close to 25 years now, and we've established ourselves as a world-class provider of unified IP-based security solutions. We're best known for our industry-leading video management solutions, as well as for access control and license plate recognition solutions. So about 6 years ago, we began development of Genetec Clearance, and this is our digital evidence management system, or DEMS. Having worked extensively with law enforcement and public safety institutions for close to decades, we have become aware of several core challenges that agencies were facing when sharing video with internal and external stakeholders. At its core, Genetec Clearance allows agencies to easily collect digital evidence like video from multiple sources, such as surveillance systems, body-worn cameras, and cell phones. Evidence is consolidated into cases where it can be reviewed immediately into a web browser without the need for any standalone player software. Cases and content can be shared electronically with other stakeholders to facilitate collaboration, while role-based access controls and the detailed audit trail ensure very tight security and visibility on the chain of custody. Today, Genetec Clearance is used by many agencies and public entities across North America, two notable examples being the city of San Diego and Galveston County in Texas. So now getting into the core of our session today, an important use case that we've turned our attention to over the past 6 to 9 months has been enabling better collaboration between public safety institutions and local community stakeholders. And when we look at the current landscape in the security space, consumer video surveillance systems have become increasingly widespread and available. So most private businesses have camera systems, and even a lot of homeowners and private citizens nowadays have adopted video systems like Ring doorbells. So in the event of an incident or investigation, receiving access to these recordings can be extremely helpful for investigators, but there are typically several challenges with collecting them. Firstly, officers and investigators' visibility on private camera systems within the jurisdiction is usually quite limited. Oftentimes, investigators will need to canvass the area near an incident to look for cameras on a case-by-case basis. And when there is existing data, what we see is that it's usually held in spreadsheets that can be difficult to search through and often become out of date. When camera systems are identified, recordings are usually recovered on physical devices like USBs, hard drives, or burnt harm DVDs that will necessitate an officer to retrieve them on site. And because of these factors, getting access to additional evidence can be time-consuming for investigators. The outcomes of requests for video can be difficult to review and audit after the fact. And even when video is recovered, the wide variety of recording formats and codecs that exist can make it challenging for investigators to review the evidence without sourcing and installing dedicated player software. So to address these challenges and better support collaboration with local community stakeholders, the latest update to Genetec Clearance now allows agencies to create a public camera registry. So let's go over the main the main capabilities before we get into the actual demo. So the first thing is that agencies are going to be able to create a customized enrollment form for private businesses and citizens. Once camera systems are enrolled, investigators can easily search for them from a map view. Video recordings from participants can be requested directly from the application, so from clearance, and they can be associated with existing cases that officers are working on. When video is shared by participants, it can be immediately reviewed in-app, and most importantly, there are no hardware or software dependencies for the participants that would want to enroll in one of these camera sharing programs. So it's free to enroll and participate. So I think that the best way to give you an idea of how it works is to show you the demo of the application. So let's get into it. So here I've just opened up clearance and I'm in the camera registry tab in the map view, city of Chicago. So with the new update, we have the ability to track and display what we call participants. So those are the blue nodes that you see on the map. Those are representative of the sites or locations that have enrolled in the program. So if I click on one of those nodes, this one here, it will provide its name, and I can click on view details to open up the participant page where we will see additional information about the site. So here we'll see the address, the number of cameras at the location, the number of days of storage, and more importantly, we'll have the contact details for the site. So from here, an investigator or an officer would be able to initiate the process of requesting video from this location by clicking on the request video button in the top right corner. So we'll take a quick step back and look at how we're actually able to get these sites enrolled in clearance in the first place. So with the new update, we have the ability now to create what we call a participant enrollment form. So this is one example, and you start from an easy to use template. So when you're creating one of these forms, you're able to give some descriptive information, give the program its name, give an explanation about what it is, the benefits, and you're also able to upload the agency or the organization's crest. And then you have the actual fill form down below. The first section will ask people enrolling their contact details, name, email address, phone number. And then the second part will be about the location. And this you will find fields for the address, the number of cameras that they have, the days of storage, and stuff like that. So while the template is great as a starting point, and it can be enough for organizations, we also allow organizations to customize the form to their needs. So you can add any additional fields very easily in the application. So it's just clicking and dragging, dropping text fields in the appropriate section where you might want to add something. So here, let's say that we want to add an additional text field. Do this here. So let's say that we wanted to ask about the brand of the camera that they're using. We could do that very easily. And you can add these additional fields. You can make them mandatory or optional. It's very easy to modify and to make sure that you're collecting the right information for your agency. So once we've configured this to our liking, we'll be able to publish the form. If we go back up on the page, we click on this button here. There are two ways from this point on that we start to support enrollment into the program. So the first one is we create a permanent URL for the form, this link here. So we've generated one for this form. If I click open link, it will take me to it. So this is the page where users could start to plug in their information and enroll to the program. So if the agency wants to start immediately, it can use this link and share it with any stakeholder that it might want to sign up. Now, most organizations will want to build or use some type of informational or marketing dedicated web page around the program like this, which you would find information about the program, and this is where you would want people to sign up. So to support that, we also provide the option. Let me go back to the menu here. We also provide the option to generate an iframe for this form so that it can be embedded on a website. So this is something that can be brought to any web development team. I click on the embedded here. You'll see that it generates the code that can be brought to any web development team, which they would then take and embed into the code of an existing website, so that the form could appear with any of the other information that you might want to communicate. So we have an example of what it can look like here. So this is a website about a program. So we have just an image, the header here, a quick description, a summary of what it is, and the benefits of such program. And below that, you will find the embedded enrollment form. So interested members of the community can fill it up and click submit and enroll in the program. So when people go ahead and they do this, they will receive a confirmation email to confirm their enrollment. So we have a business that enrolled just a little while ago. Let me show you what email looks like. So they'll receive this email from clearance to confirm the details about their site, the information they provided. And once they click here, confirm my email, this will complete the enrollment process, and their site will now appear as a node within our camera registry. So let's get back to the registry here. So just click back. So I'll jump back into clearance and we'll look at this from the perspective of a detective doing an investigation. So they're working on an existing case that has been created in clearance, perhaps through a CAD or RMS integration, or maybe manually. And they would open the map view and see if there are any businesses nearby the site of their investigation. So they're looking for other sources of video in the area that could help with this particular incident. And they see that there is a participant site just down the road here. So here the detective can select request video to initiate the process. And this opens up the request menu. So here they can indicate the time range for the request. They can add a location. Then most importantly, they can associate this request to an existing case. So I'll assign it to a related case that is being investigated nearby. Just click next. And on the next page, you have an optional request details form. So this is a form that the agency can customize and implement to track the details of these requests that are being made from their officers. So let's go ahead and say that this is being made by an investigator from the patrol unit. And we have a case number, and we'll add a description about what this is about, the request basically. So that's the video from site downtown. And we could also, if need be, upload documents related to the request if that's part of your process of the workflow. And we could also add a date needed by if need be. In this case, we don't need to. Then we'll click submit. So at this point, clearance will rely on the email address that we associated with this participant site to send out an automatic communication to the individual that owns that site. So now I'm registered for this business site. So let me look at my emails. I should be receiving this right here. Perfect. So I see that I've received the email notification. So I'm being notified of what the incident was, what's being asked of me, and I have here a link where I will be able to, as the owner of that site, be able to upload the evidence that's been requested. So in this case, the person gets to the upload portal and they will be asked to identify themselves. Then you can add terms and conditions that can be configured also as from the account standpoint. And on the next page, you end up on the actual portal where evidence can be uploaded. So here, if you're on a computer, you can just drag and drop files like that. We also have a QR code so that if someone is on mobile, they could scan this and very easily get to the portal page where just to make it easier from a user experience standpoint. And now we see that the footage has been shared successfully. So let's get back. Let's get back to the home page, and we see here that we have the case that we were working on. So again, from the perspective of the detective, we're on the home page, and that's the case ends up at the top of your My Activities dashboard. So since this case has been updated with this new evidence that's been added to it, that's been uploaded to it, we'll see here that we get into the case and we have the public upload. It's just been received, so a minute ago. And from this point on, the investigator can open the file, can review the video, and play back the footage so that he can assess if it's relevant to the investigation. So from here, they'd be able to take advantage of all of the functionalities of clearance. So notably, if we go back to the case, if they wanted to share the case internally or externally, they would be able to do that from the permission section here. So we have all of the users and groups of users that are part of the detective department. If we wanted to add additional people from within the organization, they could do that by clicking on add user. So that's the company's directory, or the organization's directory, I should say. And they could also invite guests. So we can think, inviting guests from outside of the organization or the agency, such as prosecutor, district attorney, people like that. So this would allow any of the appropriate parties to access the case and review the evidence, obviously based on the permission levels that we give them. But that's it. That's basically it for our quick demo. So let me jump back into the slide deck. There we go. And I'll now go into how to actually set up one of these registry programs. So taking a look at the typical flow, we see a three-step process. So the first step will involve preparing the initiative internally. So here are the different city instances, city council, the different agency stakeholders will get together to discuss the details of the program. So they'll want to identify the areas or the boroughs where this is going to be promoted, the objectives that they have in terms of participation, if there are any conditions for usage, etc. The second step would be creating the form inside clearance and then configuring the website that will be used to promote information about it. So part of this step, you would develop any of the marketing material that you might want to have, all of the information that would be used to encourage participants to sign up, explaining the value of a program, the benefits for the community, and things like that. And the third step would be the actual launch. So this is where the recruitment of participants actually starts. Officers that are responding to incidents in the community and interacting with stakeholders in the jurisdiction would be able to share information about the program. This is also the point where you would see the enrollment of participant sites in the platform. So from that point on, the agency will be able to start requesting video from these sites. And ultimately, what we want to achieve is increased collaboration in the community and more cases being solved, which in turn will lead to a safer community. So with respect to getting access to a trial of this, we're making it possible for anyone interested in trying out clearance and the camera registry functionalities to get access to a 45-day trial of the application. Basically, the only requirement is that there will be a training session prior to getting access, so this can be organized at your convenience. It's a one-on-one session where we'll help you get more familiar with the program, the application, and how to set up your own registry to test it out. So if you're interested in getting access to a demo, or if you want to learn a bit more about the registry module or clearance in general, you can reach out to us at clearanceteam@genetec.com. So that's it for a quick overview on the latest update of Genetec clearance and the camera registry functionalities. So thank you again for attending this session. I will now open it up for questions. So one question here that I see, so do I need to have Genetec Security Center to use clearance? The answer is no. Clearance is a standalone product. So it's a web application that anyone can get access to if they have their account and their credentials. We do have some great unification between Genetec Security Center and Genetec Clearance, and there are some real synergies that you can take advantage of there. But you don't. But if you don't, you can still use the application to its full capabilities and jump into it right away. And kind of a follow-up question to that. So, what format do we support inside of Clearance? That's a very good question that we see a lot. So you don't need to have video come from Security Center. This really can be coming from any video solution out there. So we support a very large range of video formats. So for the large majority of video uploaded to the platform, we'll be able to decode that and allow users to play back and review those files inside the web app. So when we're talking about members of the community that would like to participate, maybe they have a Google Nest system, perhaps it's some kind of off-the-shelf video system from a retailer, or even if it's something, or perhaps it's something that's been professionally installed as a surveillance or video system. Whatever the case, you'll be able to review that evidence. And it's also worth mentioning that we also support many different types of digital evidence. Obviously, our focus has been on video, but we also support images, audio recordings, PDF documents, etc. So that seems to be it. I don't see any other questions. Again, thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something, and if you have any questions or comments, please reach out to us by email at clearanceteam@genetec.com. Thank you.